Hi guys, and welcome back to Beauty Fortified, and welcome to my MAC makeup series part 2. And in today's video I'm going to go through some makeup that is suitable for women with warm undertones. Now if you don't know what your skin undertone is, you can have a look at some of the videos that I've referenced in the description box below. I have found quite a few that give a really excellent demonstration of how you can find your skin undertone. And your undertone will inform the colors of makeup that suit you best. Now, if you do have a neutral undertone, then generally speaking, you can wear either warm or cool palettes. So, a little bit about why I chose MAC. I chose MAC because they are a really consistent brand and I feel that they work really well on mature skins. They kind of fall somewhere in between drugstore and high end. So you are paying a premium for the brand, but you're not paying the same prices as you would for the likes of Chanel or Dior. So it's kind of a nice compromise. And for today's video, in curating this palette for warm undertones, I have looked at MAC Classics. So a lot of these items are products that you probably would have heard about, but they really are staples in the MAC collection, and for good reason. Now I've also, because MAC is such an overwhelming brand, there are so many different shades to choose from, especially when it comes to eyeshadows. I have really curated this down. So this is not an exhaustive list by any stretch of the imagination. It's kind of just a teaser as to what I think would suit you if you are deciding to get into makeup, or if you're already in makeup but you're looking for a brand where you can just kind of consolidate everything. So it's just here to give you a little bit of guidance. So the first thing that I'm going to talk about is eyeshadows. Now they do have a whole plethora of eyeshadows, and if you were starting out, there are probably 2 or 3 that I would suggest. So the one being a crease shade, that would be just to define your crease, and you would usually use a matte shade for that. And then you might want something for your lid that is going to make your lid pop. So the colors that I have on today are what I'm talking about. I have sandstone in my crease and I have sable on my lid. So I've picked out 3 shades for you. Let's just get this open. So 2 of these are mattes. So over here you have charcoal brown, and to the right of that you have sandstone, and then below that you have the mobile lid color sable. Now sable it's a frost. It's described as a frost, and it really is just a beautiful kind of it's a warm champagne rose gold kind of shade. I would describe it like that. And these frost shades are really excellent on mature lids, so they don't accentuate your texture either, and that's what I love about these shadows from MAC. And then another one that you could possibly use for the mobile lid would be the shade Woodwinked, and it is more of a gold, and it's just a really beautiful mobile lid shade. And this used to be MAC's fastest seller of all time for their eyeshadows. I'm not sure if it still is. So those would be my recommendations: 2 or 1 crease shade, either the sandstone or charcoal brown, and then a little bit of a shimmer or something for the mobile lid just to make it pop. And now on to cheeks. Well, cheeks blush is something that MAC does really well, and I've got 5 different blushes here for you to choose from. So I've included some mattes. I've included a glowy blush from their mineralized range, and I've also included a cream blush. Now cream blush is something that they do really well, and cream blush is excellent for mature skin, and they have a range called the MAC Glow Play blushes. And the one that I've specifically chosen for warm undertones is in the shade Grand. So they come in a little plastic container like that, and that is the shade Grand. So it's a kind of peachy warm shade, and apparently this is their biggest seller of their cream blush shades. So this one is a really beautiful one and very flattering on mature skin. If you are wanting to go with a powder blush, then I've got two different options for you. So the one that I have here is called Melba, and it is what I have on my cheeks today. And it is just a beautiful peach, and this is a matte shade. It's very sheer, it blends beautifully, and you can build it up as well depending on the intensity of the color that you want. So that is a really beautiful one. Another one that I would recommend for warm skin tones, and this is kind of veering on the neutral skin tone, but it would work for warm skins as well, and that is Blush Baby. And it's also a sheer tone blush, so it's part of their their sheer tone range, which is very, very sheer, as the name suggests. And these just blend out absolutely beautifully. And this is described as a kind of pinky beige, so it would probably suit all skin undertones, warm, neutral, or cool, but it really is a beautiful one. And then no MAC blush collection would be complete without Warm Soul. So I've also added in Warm Soul, and that is the one that I have over the Melba on my cheeks today. It is a mineralized baked blush, so it does have a little bit of a shimmer to it. It's not a chunky shimmer, it's just really quite understated. Now this is the new version. Of course, they did change the formula a few years ago, and there was huge outcry about that. But this is still very, very pretty. It's actually still very, very flattering, even though they have changed the tone somewhat. It really is a beautiful blush, and it is one that I would recommend if you're just wanting to give a little bit of a sheen to your cheeks. So that is Warm Soul. And now onto lipstick shades. You will be spoilt for choice at MAC. I've kept to the more neutral shades just for the purposes of this video, but of course they have beautiful reds in all different hues. So the first two that I'm going to talk about are from the Luster range. Now this is it's a kind of, I don't want to call it a lipstick gloss hybrid, but it's a glossy lipstick, and they have some beautiful opacity. These don't bleed into lip lines, and they are just absolutely stunning. So the two that I wanted to swatch for you today, the one is called Posh Pit, which is a slightly deeper neutral, and then the other one is called Hug Me. And these are really beautiful nudes that perform beautifully on warm undertones. So this one over here, the first one is Hug Me, and then the one next to it is Posh Pit. So Posh Pit is a little bit darker than Hug Me. But these are just absolutely beautiful, everyday wear lipsticks that I can highly recommend. And then, of course, I have the classic Velvet Teddy. Now, Velvet Teddy is a nude, but it is a matte. And it's just a beautiful, it's a really quite a universal shade. And here it is swatched on my hand, so you can see how it compares to the other two. It's got a little bit more kind of purple to it, but it really is a stunning, stunning nude shade. And when I say purple, it's probably more, it's got more of a blush to it. But it really is stunning, and their mattes are very long wearing and very comfortable on the lips as well. They don't dry out your lips at all. And then I have included one that is probably just as classic as Teddy, and that is the color Twig, and it is the one that I have on today. And it again is a very universal kind of shade, and a lot of makeup artists use this on brides because it is just so it's just gorgeous. It's very natural as well. And here I've swatched it. You can see next to Velvet Teddy it has a little bit more pink in it. And this is from their satin lipstick range. And again, very, very comfortable on the lips, and just very, very flattering on a lot of different skin tones. So those are the four neutrals that I would suggest that you probably or definitely can't go wrong with. And then finally, just a gloss that I would like to mention. So I do have this on my lips today. And okay, can't for the life of me remember what it is called. It is called Nymphette. Now, their glosses are really good as well, and they're quite long lasting. They are They're not sticky, but they do have a certain amount of grip on your lips, which is what you want, because you don't want them to be bleeding all over the place. And this is a beautiful one. If you're wanting a lipstick with a little bit more gloss, you can just pop a little bit of this over your lips. It is not very pigmented at all. I'm struggling to get this to show up on the back of my hand, but there it is there. That is just an example of one of the many glosses that they have in their range. So guys, those are my recommendations for people with warm undertones. Let me know if you feel that there's anything I've left out, or if there's something that you really feel works particularly well on warm undertones. I'd love to hear from you. Please leave me a comment down below. I am going to leave you with a link to my MAC Makeup Series Part 1, where I talk about foundation and powder. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Please don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Ciao, ciao.